There are a few things in life with a worse cost ratio benefit analysis than spending time learning how to become a jazz piano player. So today we're totally gonna fake it. And you may have noticed that I have a new piano and not the crappy old Casio one because Donner sent me one. It's less than $350. Check it out. So number one thing we have to do, we have to sound bad on purpose. Seems like a very novel concept, right? Best way to sound bad on a piano is doing this. Right? That's not a jazz lord move. Here's the key to this. If you press 4 white keys in a row next to each other, that's a jazz noob. If you leave a little bit of space in between the two, Duke Ellington. All right? So that's step number one. If you can space them out across the piano too, even better. Why not? Now the first thing we're gonna do is do something that's kind of like a chromatic walk with a little bit of razzmatazz rhythm jazz sauce on it. So if you've watched any of the other fake piano videos, you know how to find just the white keys because they're the color white. So you probably don't even need to watch that other video if you don't want to, but we're gonna be playing mostly the white keys here, as I'm sure you probably guessed. First thing we're gonna find a C. Again, take a group of 2 black notes. To the left, we have a C. The first thing we're gonna do is gonna sound like this. All right. That's pretty easy, and it's kind of a little jazzy too. Very modern, if you want to go there, right? So on my left hand, I'm gonna play this C. I'm gonna find the next one with my right hand, okay? I'm gonna chromatically walk down 1 note at a time. 4 notes, okay? So these notes are gonna be C, B, B flat, A, but a true jazz lord doesn't even know that. And now we're gonna put these in between every C in the left hand. So left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. If you use your pointer fingers like this, that may be a giveaway that you don't know what you're doing. So we're gonna use different fingers for this specific example. All right, now you'll notice that there's a very jazzy rhythm going on here. It's not just, again, jazz noob. We don't want some of that. We want the good stuff, right? So I'm going to demonstrate this by doing a little bit of jazz shuffle dancing here, like this. You'll notice that every time I hit the right hand, I do a quick movement with my body that seems uncontrollable, but it's all controllable, right? So every time, we start with the left hand. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And it has kind of a rhythm to it. So try to get that down. That might be harder than it seems, but definitely not as hard as going to jazz school. If people still do that, if that's a thing, I don't know. Now, we're not done here, no. We're gonna take this from a C to a F. This is actually gonna be a 1-4 progression, as the jazz people will tell you. Do the same thing, find an F here in the left hand, F in the right hand. Now you'll notice, on the F chord, on the 4 chord, I'm leaning to my left. On the 1 chord, I lean to my right, because I wanna create the illusion that I'm feeling the music somewhere deep that goes beyond understanding, but really I'm just going left and right, okay? So C is right, F is left. Now the closer I get my head to the keyboard, the more of a jazz savant I become, okay? So that's something that I'm not gonna go into now because I'm not super flexible, but it's something for your own practice that you might wanna consider, okay? Now, the next thing that we can do to make this even a little spicier is add another note in the left hand. So we're gonna take the root note and its third, its major third, so a C and an E, and then do the same thing. Now you can do that, or you can kind of swing them back and forth. And again, that kind of sounds jazzy, right? All I did there is, instead of going bum bum ba bum, I went ba-dum bum ba bum. Which is official jazz vocabulary, all right? So, ba-da-bum, left two notes before the chromatic walk, and then I'm switching every one left and right. I do the same thing with the F. Now, again, this is kind of old school jazz. Modern jazz sounds way worse than old good jazz, Dave Brubeck jazz. Modern jazz, we wanna really assault the listener as if it's their fault we spent $100,000 on jazz school. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the minor third, make it super jazzy and dissonant. So instead of having a C and an E, we're gonna have a C and an E flat. right, so now, same thing with the F. We're gonna have an F and an A flat. And again, right there, that makes the whole thing minor. So being able to go back and forth between major and minor is something that only jazz pros know how to do. Okay, so we've got that. We're also spacing out the block stupid way that children play. Now we can do the same thing. We can block down chromatically. That would sound like this. I'll do it with just the root note. I mean, come on. You've heard that before, right? I'm sure like some of the finer film scores and soundtracks have that kind of action going on. So again, interval would be the word for that, right? An interval is a space between two things. That's why I like a C to an E. That's a major third. 1, 2, 3. F to A. 1, 2, 3. Once we kind of shorten the interval, that's when we end up with a lot of dissonance, and it sounds pretty nasty and terrible. So the next step that you can do from here is maybe instead of taking just like these 2-note chords, we can widen what we're doing here. So instead of playing like a C here, I can play a C lower, and I can maybe make a whole chord, like a C, an E, and a G. And then I can... Now it has a little more space in between. Then I'm gonna go to the F. And then back to the C, right? So same thing. Now we can do the same thing, but minor. Then F minor. And again, you can kind of just go anywhere you want. You can take that to a G minor if you want. And again, we're just kind of creating a lot of dissonance in a way that doesn't sound good, and no one would ever want to listen to it. But because you're doing it and following these precise instructions, you're making really, really great and thoughtful jazz music. So thank you for joining me on this trip down jazz lane. And thanks to Donna again for sending the keyboard over. I'm using this as a MIDI controller into my computer and triggering native instruments. The Gentleman, I believe, is the name of the plugin. But it has built-in speakers too that you can kind of adjust. So I have the speakers down because it's easier to record. So I'll link you to that in case you guys are interested. Let me know what other fake piano videos you guys want to see, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.